That's why I'm keeping those small. I don't mind it. I have a little echo. They all are violating the law of the land, which many people seem to want to throw away. Sister, what? Right now? I can't do this. I just can't do it. Excuse me. Islam, we thought we had a little mute problem. A little problem with the sound here. Something is going on in the class for the moment. So we're going to discuss this matter. We're going to discuss this matter until that is done. And what Sister Robin Eve's going to do tonight is go over the letter that was sent via the state to the different municipalities and counties. And it was
I'm going to do a brief synopsis.
A brief synopsis.
We're going to go into some of the requirements for the drug one.
Some of the requirements and how it is colored, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because we have to break down how to get around, not get around as a workaround, but how to really see what is put before us. But what I wanted to say is that so it seems that since the states are I got to figure out where this new button is. If I need to use it, which one of these are the ones that I'm doing that on this one, right? Everybody just hold on. Is it the top button? What can I do this with, or is it just like? How do I? This is top button. All right, yeah. I used to have that one. All right, thanks. So it appears that they're trying to be or act somewhat, what we'll call somewhat du jour as Republic states, and in that they're following or appear to want to follow the law and not violate people's rights, people's liberties. It appears that way because what really is happening, though, is the states are actually in conflict with each other, really, or would be each other. It's going to be a big fight. Now, this is why the prophet said turn down. This is turned down. That's what I forgot. This is why the prophet said have enough to supply you for several months, because really they're going to be in a big fight with each other, and as they really already are. But and so certain things are going to be happening, and you need to really look out for yourself because their family looking out for themselves, and they're fighting for the position to be able. They're fighting for the position to be able. Do I have to have this thing? Sure. Oh, you're cutting that one? All right. They're fighting for the position to be able to. Should this be?
It's all right.
They're fighting for the position to be able to continue feeding their family from robbing the people. So that's really all they're doing. See, governments, it's real simple. Governments are not in the business of robbing people's rights. Of violating people's rights. That's not what it's supposed to be. If they're government, then they are upholding the people's rights, not violating them. Not violating them at all. So clearly, that's not what's going on. And if we knew what the law was by enforcing the law of the land, which I don't know, some people seem to want to throw away the law of the land as if it's not the answer to our problems. I don't get it because it's universal. It's not biased. And why are you handing me that? Which one am I working out of now? This right here on my head. Okay, and I can use this. All right. for this right here is what's happening on my clip. Yeah. So governments are supposed to be in a position. I mean, governments are supposed to secure your rights, secure your liberties. Let me say liberties, okay? Because some people say, oh, you're violating my rights. And if you ask them, well, what are your rights? Guaranteed they don't know what they are. They don't know. They're just on the street marching for rights that they feel are violated. You know when you're violated because you feel it. I got to get this on my lap first. Yeah. Funny. Hold on. Just 2 seconds. Almost there. So don't be more chaotic than what it is. Government. All right, I'm just being a little bit distracted here. Just hold on. I know. Rough. Had a really rough time today. But we'll get there. Now, governments are supposed to, as a state, they are in the business of securing your rights. I mean, they are government. They are supposed to secure your rights, not violate them. Clearly, we can see that they're violating them, so apparently they're not government. I'll take that. Clearly, they're not government. We need to get that clear. So to just, that's just directing like they're just not acting right. No. That's an obligation. That's an obligation. So now a lot of people want to throw away the Constitution because they have been led to do that, led in the direction to do that for some odd reasons. They've been led in that direction that, the Constitution matters not, is suspended, which is not true. They must be talking about teaching. I don't know what Constitution they're talking about, but, it's not the law of the land that we're talking about. So, which has been pretty much put on the back burner, put on like it doesn't exist. And the only time you hear any of these other people, corporations, general people, whether they're modern Europeans or not, the only time you hear them even mention is when it's to their favor that it's been violated. Yes, right? Yes. That's the only time you believe them saying anything about it. But yet they want you to believe that it's suspended. That is so ridiculous. Like, where did they get that from?
Well, these people, right? They're not talking about the state constitution at all. Most of the people who engage in violating the liberties of the people today, they are employees of these corporations. They talk about the Constitution only as like a decoy / courtesy, only because the people coming in have brought up the Constitution. But they're a corporation. They're not there to enforce the Constitution. That's the obligation of the people.
Well,
yeah, that's not their job. They don't give a crap about the Constitution. They're here to engage in business and generate revenue. That's it. It's the people who are supposed to keep all corporations in check and hold them accountable to that Constitution, not as trustees, not as public servants, but on this land, the supreme law of the land is the American Constitution, and therefore, it's the people. This is your homeland. This is your house. How well are you going to protect it? Oh, you're not going to protect it? Oh, well, then anybody else can come in and do anything they want to it. Yep. That's it.
It's really that simple.
Yep. Just that simple.
So, what we're saying is they can't alter the Constitution. They can't make it go away. So we keep that right into it. That's what we are saying. We need to do from being molested by when really they're not. That's the answer to the problem. It doesn't mean you have to be of a certain religious belief. Doesn't mean that you have to be of a certain nationality per se, because it's for everybody. It's a simplistic, universal answer to the issues that most people say they want to fix or that they want to, or are complaining about. So we got to identify what the problem is in order to fix it. And that's what we're looking at here. It's like, it's so simple that it just doesn't seem that it is. Many times we have people say, well, this is what they're doing. Well, look, we already know what they're doing. The only reason they're getting away with doing it is because we haven't enforced what it is. Don't you agree with that? It just makes too much sense. Like raising a household children, if you don't tell them what the rules are, they do whatever. And if you come into someone's house, then let's do another analogy. You come into someone's house and they raise their family in a certain manner, their children in a certain manner, and their children are not used to doing something a certain way. And here you come with the way they, with another way. And you're wondering, well, why are these children so unruly? Because they weren't taught to be. So now they're like, who do you think we by we the people allowing them by us not enforcing that which is the law to protect the people and our family. Yeah. Wouldn't you agree? Well, that's it. That's how simple it is, isn't it?
If it starts getting complicated, that means that you're no longer talking about the supreme law of this land. That's it.
Yep, that's exactly true. And it starts getting complicated.
That's right. Because the supreme law of the land is everything. It's our protection, and it's just a fallacy, extreme fallacy for anyone, especially a Moor, to say, that's been suspended, or that doesn't apply to us, or that's not for us, or we're not the ones that they're referring to in this constitutional document. And to be honest with you, to some degree, they are correct. We're not the ones that Constitution is referring to. It is corporations that Constitution is referring to. So that's why it is so important. Prophet Noble Drew Ali said we have an illustrious history. If the people would just go back and read their history, read the history not just of this continent, of the world, you will see how this all came into being and how come we are where we are today. I mean, it's that's our history. If we don't know our history, how are we ever going to change our future? How are we going to pass this on to our children? We got our children going into these institutions that these buildings that these corporations have established, and they're not teaching our history. They're teaching their limited history that consists of like 300 years on this land.
Yeah.
And then you get people in February talking about, this is Black History Month. Yeah, but that's not the black. The black they're talking about is not the complexion of your skin, because that wasn't black to begin with.
Right.
The black that they're talking about is these people that are the black people that came over here. They're not tied to this land. They're not the Aboriginal indigenous people. Their ancestors are not here. They don't have ancestors because they got to be here for some time to have an ancestor. They only just got here because they were created.
And brought over here, which they
exactly.
So now, what do you think to the people? Because it's very disturbing to me. And I know it's got to be because of the connection of the history. They're right. We didn't write the Constitution in that it's not written for us, but we did. Well, it's built in ancient principles of civilization, and ancient principles of civilization, and in what quite frankly.
Yes.
And they think that. Just open to his prejudice just to be there.
All right. Mm.
just say about this. Yes. Okay. And our ancestors, well, it's built in the principles. It's built in the principles of ancient principles of civilization and the principles of law, freedom, and justice. Right?
Yes.
Okay. So with that being said, it's not so much whether we wrote it, it's so much that it was authorized by us.
Yes.
All right? And it was authorized to even occur by us. Now, yes. So that's what we need. That's what we need. In terms of our knowledge base, like, because, and I'm saying this because we try to understand why people just will do everything except for enforce that law that is what is the word, that is a constitution to us all, that really works for us all, and it protects everyone. And people will, like, they'll try everything. They'll try UCC, gonna get my salary. They'll try birth certificate redemption. They'll try everything and anything. What is something? LSS, a 181 form that somebody wanted. They'll try all this stuff instead of just making the declare, which means being declared and then being. They'll do all the rest. You don't have to prove to these people anything except for being who you are. They don't have the authority, to change your nature. That is why these things were left for us in our learning to apply. Who has the authority? Think about it for a second. We see people, because we're going to be especially in efforts, I guess, to get straight with releasing the liberties.
Yes, the right to travel. Yes.
It's a personal liberty.
It's an unalienable liberty.
It's an unalienable liberty.
And
absolutely.
That
meaning, we go around talking about we're going to leave. The Constitution isn't leaning itself already. And we're not leaning that.
No.
So you can't do nothing else if you're not leaning that. That's the fundamental. That is the lean against them.
Yep.
I wanted to add that.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So what we want to do is, what we usually do is, you're going to have to do that. So what we're going to do, did you mean? But right now,
I feel one of the main reasons that you have Moors who are trying all of these other avenues except enforcing the Constitution, to be honest, is fear. I feel it's fear. And then it's not unusual because it's what?
Uncertainty.
I think it's fear because it's a form of, it used to be, I don't know what it is now, but I remember it used to be that the second, what is it? The second most feared thing that people have is public speaking.
Yeah.
I forget what the first was. I don't know if it has changed, but I remember them saying that a lot. Public speaking. Speaking really, period. Because, and to be honest with you, I understand Son's fear. Most people have, a lot of people have a fear of speaking just across the board. But a lot of times, because I remember hearing this, growing up, sons they weren't allowed to, well, not allowed, they didn't talk a lot. And a lot of times when you were growing up, many times when you try to express yourself and talk and learn, you would be told to shut up.
Yeah, speak, you don't speak all that.
Time, you didn't say anything. So, girls, because they got that little sassiness going on, they can eventually overcome that. But sons, they're not that way. So today, our challenge that we have as a people is that a lot of the times when we try to have conversations with our sons, we have to build them up to being able to talk, because all their lives they were told to shut up, and then it's not something that happened in the family where you were said you were in conversation was encouraged a lot of times.
So exactly what is your point in bringing that up?
So what I mean by that is now we're in a situation where we have to talk. Now we're in a situation where we have to talk to a complete stranger, not even a family member. And it's fearful. And then if you have to get in front of people and talk, the so-called magistrate and talk, that right there is extremely fearful. I know for myself, when I thought I was going to have to do that, my knees were shaking, my palms became sweaty. I was so afraid. And it's a great challenge to even have to overcome, to step up to the plate and say, okay, whatever, I'm going to do it. That right there is a great challenge. But the beautiful thing is, if you can get to that challenge and overcome it, you'll get to the other side and you'll realize, wow, I put all of this fear into this, and it was nothing. It was nothing. But just getting there is so difficult. It's a challenge. It's very scary. I remember as if it was yesterday.
And so you're saying that to say that
it's a form of public speaking.
It's a form of public speaking. You're not speaking up statistically. Of course, there's always exceptions and all.
If we could find a piece of paper that we can just, bam, flash it, you don't have to say nothing, or a piece of paper that you can just send in, bam, they'll leave you alone. It'll repel them. That is exactly what a lot of people are looking for. Yeah. And that's why they're like, I just sent in my birth certificate. Oh, well, why'd you do that? Because it would repel them. No, it wouldn't.
Right. I got what you're saying. So now they might say, well, then why do you do papers and you can't do papers? Because we're doing a lawful notice to notify them that we were waiting. But which is proper. It doesn't require any approval. It doesn't require any return or approval or anything of that sort. It's just a simple, lawful notice that we're alive. Well, it's a living nation, right? Of people that we're not, or whatever names you want to call it. You think that you're what is it? 14th Amendment. If you think you're law, you're not. If you think you're a what's the one? First, I don't know what they think.
First certificate redemption. I don't know.
They need to be redeemed. No. Family redeems nation, not a birth certificate redemption, notification, or contract or anything. You know what I'm saying? That's what the redeeming comes from. You, family.
Right.
Because as society starts with family, so does the authority of government. So, we were going to say, that's
right.
Yeah.
That's absolutely correct. Like I said, it's fear, and it's a feeling of insecurity, because not only we have this feeling of talking, and then we're insecure. Well, am I going to say the right thing? And that's why it's because of that you find a lot of. Now, I did it myself. We're always looking for a script. Okay, if they say this, I'll say that. If they say this, I'll say that. And they're looking for a script that's going to show that. There is no script.
But you know what? Can we just tell the truth? Because not that we were talking before, but really, it depends on your particular situation as to what
exactly. That's why there is no script.
It also depends on what you have already said and done, or the lack of what you have already not said and not done, as to how you will move forward from this particular point Or whatever. Who knows that but you better than anyone? So someone can give you the general thing, which is true. This is what a court is not. This is what a court is. This is what, you don't say my name. You don't say, to tell you all that. But what was the circle, like where you were first notified? This is what a cause of action is about, by the way. Those whole points. At that point, you were engaged in whatever. Be it through a letter, be it through a stop on the road, or through some letter that was sent to you. And you're like, what do I do? Or they gave you a form to fill out. And you're like, how do I fill it out? Whatever the case may be, that is the point of engagement and contact or whatever. It depends on what that is as to how you want to do it. So there's no cookie cutter for your. That's why people pay what they call attorneys, because they're not lawyers. That's first thing. And they say, come in and sit down and tell me what happened. There's lady read on there. I don't talk about that. But when it happens, it's about so the best position, when we go around talking that language, do that because it's about not the legality. Although if it's lawful, it's legal. But if it's legal, that don't mean it's lawful, right? I mean, really. So you can roll down that road if you want to, but you will be carried on, and they'll have to carry for you too. But you will be carried for those who enforce the color of law activity, because that's what it is. You want to enforce the color of law activity knowing that it is. Oh, well, I'm just going to learn it so I can know. Why do people say I'm just going to learn it so I can know? When that is not law. I don't understand. I don't understand where they're coming, and then on top of where they're coming from. Then on top of that, they already know that it's color of law. They can change that crap tomorrow. So why would you do that? Why would you think that it's cool to do that and waste generations, waste information for however long it took you to learn that, and then also try to apply it and extend it into the generation, and it's in error. Whereas, like talking over Joel Lee, he said the nations don't want to law because of that. It doesn't waver or change. It is what it is. And as I was saying to you when we had this discussion, I said, because we're back to talking about this travel situation, which is right off, right? And I said, now they're making some associations, institutions, temples, clubs, whatever they are making good with these lines of things to say, all right, well, things like more membership card than we're going to travel. What that means is that's a bias thing. And all people would be biased to say, you're not part of this club, church, religion, institution, you don't have the right to travel. And then some of their other people go along with it. Now, I can understand if they try to say, like just the thing is just saying you're not really a Moor. What it means is that you do not have the spiritual role portion of being the mothers and fathers of civilization and the spiritual portion of that. And that might be true because you're not going to get it, certainly not going to get it in truth anywhere else. And you're not going to get it in truth anywhere else yet. So they know you didn't receive it, and the only place it looks like you might receive it in truth is in a temple according to Prophet to our leaders. They're not in the Sunday school going to guidance of the nation. So with that being applied, if that were applied properly, that would be true. But it's not, so therefore, But so that's where you're coming from with it, and it's true that we barely have that spiritual acknowledgement, especially if we're running around wanting to be being Christians. I mean, we can't be that. And from that perspective of that religious truth, not that it's biased about religious truth, because religion is really law, order, government principles, and cosmology and astrology, which can be proven very, very easily. Very, very, very easily with a bit of study. So that's what they're meaning. I'm trusting that's what I would use that as the excuse, but maybe they don't see it that way, and a lot of them don't because they want to get into the club business thing.
They're controlling. Yes, they are controlling, and they're trying to control the population. And the problem with that is, if I'm going to leave the modern Europeans' control, I mean, what's the point of you leaving the modern Europeans' control to enter into the control of my Lord in a temple? What's the point?
What's the point? Right. Exactly. They will say within if you're going to bias and you're not who you are. But yet, Bobby said, nope, nobody can say it's a dissent nature. So we're really reiterating these things again for food for the thought to consider for the people when they listen to these things. They just are not true. And that's another thing. We were talking with someone earlier. It's not almost like you can't say anything bad about religion, sanity. People don't understand what it is and what it is not. And so when you say what you say, but they can go to an encyclopedia and look up the tenets of Christianity, which were established in 322 AD. And is there a problem? Oh, why are you looking at my mic like that? Is it working all right? All right. Well, this is one of those extenuating circumstances that we've been in before. We welcome this number to be in that's why but at any rate, when you look up, the encyclopedia, and even nothing with RVBey, it tells you in 322 AD after the stop word, that's stop nation. It's after Yahshua, so Jesus came, went and they had a nice council meeting to determine the tenets of Christianity. Well, that's the case. You actually established and started Christianity. That's not who we speak it is. So when you go and look at that, it automatically assists you in having some truth about, who we're to, what do we say? We're to it, and what is what. But many people, they just don't seem to, I don't know. I mean, we don't want to get into what and why one does not, spend their efforts in thinking. But what we do know that if we were to think, get to thinking, we could do that. Now, what we're going to do is, I think we're going to have to sit for about a minute. All right. And so hold on one second.
All right.
I know eso fue te dimos, sir.
Hello, how are you? All right. How many people, what were you guys talking about? I'm sure it was nationality and birthday, right? It's always about everything, right? How many people have, we were here like 2-3 weeks ago when we went over this article about Moor municipalities at odds around the car taxes. Who was here for that? I went over the article. I said I was going to bring the article. We finally got the article here. And so I'm passing it out. And I want to talk about the right to travel. You okay, well, we got enough for everybody. We got 70. So I hope we have enough. I want to talk a little bit about everyone's right to travel because you all got an exercise to do. I did it, and the reasons why I'm bringing this up is because
I was looking for something and I ran into this information on the internet. How many people have a challenge in exercising their right to travel? How many people have a challenge exercising the right to travel? Meaning how many people know what the right to travel consists of? Does anybody not know? Don't be changed. I mean, because it's cool. A motor vehicle, and we've been mentally conditioned to call it that, right? But what's crazy about that is, what's crazy about that is, look, do you register? I mean, a lot of people. How many people got one of them 60-inch TV screens in their home? Come on now, don't be bashful. 60 big, huge. I mean, it's not as big as a car, but it's huge, right? Do you have to register that? No. You don't have to register it, right? You need some sort of license to operate it? Do you have to insure it? No. So, what other kind of stuff do you have that you don't have to register? A bike. Although up here, I realize they're doing some interesting things up here. Furniture, computer, electrical appliances. Why is it that people are being compelled under threat, duress, and coercion to register their personal property, misclassify it as a motor vehicle, then you're compelled to get a driving instrument that says you're a chauffeur when you're not? So I'm sure there's some mothers around here feel like they're a chauffeur, probably some sons too. But that's not what you're doing, right? So why are you being compelled to get this instrument? Why? And where is the supporting law, right? Our right to travel is unalienable. How many people know what that means? Unalienable. It means that they cannot assign any monetary cost to you exercising your liberty because it is unalienable, but it's been liened. I mean, and I say this because I'm so really sick of a lot of people coming up with these workarounds. Oh, I got this process to work around having a license or registering my personal property. I'm not interested in workarounds because the Constitution secures my unalienable right to travel. So I'm not interested in a workaround. I'm only interested in being able to travel free without molestation, or that somebody's going to kidnap me off of the street and throw me in a prison and then demand income from me because I am exercising my right to travel. Right? Now, let me tell you why we still got a problem with travel. Because nobody has sued anybody. When I say that, I mean not of our family. My Europeans, they don't get harassed. You know why? Because they sue. They write and sue. They write and sue and write. We don't do none of that. We don't. We write slamming writ. How many people have sent a writ in regarding your right to travel? How many sued based on that? I didn't either. I'm guilty. But back then I didn't know. I know now, and I am looking for a proactive way to sue. So, yes, I am. I am looking for a proactive way to sue, and so I found something today on the internet, and you need to go and look for the same. I was looking for what is required to get a license. And I was looking in North Carolina, I was trying to find New Jersey, but New Jersey got this crap well hidden. It ain't. I haven't found it yet, but I will. I haven't found it yet, but I will. But you can't, like New Jersey. It says you gotta. What is it say? You gotta. It doesn't. Okay, let me just explain. Like for example, North Carolina. North Carolina says you have to bring 4 documents total: proof of age and identity. Now, I got a problem with that. Does anybody know why I have a problem with that? I got to prove my identity and my age. First of all, I don't have to prove my age to nobody because now that you're telling me is you could possibly discriminate against me because of my age, right? Right? But why? I know why. I got a problem with the identity. But tell me, some of you, why would you have a problem with the whole prove your identity? What? So you don't need to know who they are. That is true. What do you say? Oh, that's after the fact. But I want to know, why do you have a problem with them saying you need to prove your identity? You need to prove it. What do you say? Why do I need to prove myself to you? If I am always actually anyone I want to be. I don't need to identify myself. Well, that's good. That's good. What? You're gonna have to bring their documents. That's good. That's good. What do you say? Yeah. You're the what? The sovereign. I wouldn't go there using that word sovereign because I would use Aboriginal, Indigenous. But yeah, what? That's correct. That's correct. What do you say? What do you say? All right. What do you say? Right. All right. All right. Now let me show you why I got a problem with this foolishness. You will need to bring. I will need to bring. I'm running myself. I'm standing right here. What do you mean I need to prove I am who I say I am? I'm standing right here. Right? I'm standing right here. So you want me to go and get something from him who don't know jack shit about me, okay? And once I get whatever from him and bring it to you, now you're telling me, okay, you've been identified. What kind of foolishness is that? That is some retarded sugar honey iced tea. That is some retarded stuff. I'm standing right here. You go to a bank. I need you to prove you're who you say you are. I'm standing right here. Mm-hmm. You go to turn on gas or electric. Used to be you can just call them up and turn it on, but there have been some modern European scammers because it ain't us. We ain't that right. We're not criminal-minded like that. Modern Europeans go in there and scam all kind of utilities. Now everybody got to show up. Prove you are who you say you are. Well, I said I am who I said I am, and that's all I'm saying today. And then they took a picture of you, and they put it in their computer. Well, they did that last time I went. That's what they did up north. I don't know what they do down here. So now when you come in and they say, who are you? They pull you up. Look at the picture. Look at you. Oh, this don't look like you. Now, let me tell you what's crazy about that. Yes, because they take a picture of you and put it in the computer. So now when you come in, they pull up the picture. They pull up your name or your information, and there's a picture of you. Right there. So I'm going to tell you, let me think. The last time I went down there was back in, I want to say the 90s. I do not look like that picture today. All right, I do not. When I go in and I have to take a picture, I'll be like this. They don't say nothing. You know what they say? Is that your religion? Yes, it is. I don't want to know nothing more. You don't say nothing more. I'm not asking you what your religion is. Don't say nothing. You know why they do that? Because they know that according to your First Amendment rights, they can't ask you jack except, is that because of your religion? And the only thing, listen clearly, the only thing you can say is yes. Now, if you get into elaborating more, they know that you're dumb. Your job is not to educate these people on Islam. That's not your job. Your job is to make sure that they do not molest you. They do not violate your unalienable liberties. That's it. You ain't there. And look, if you go into any of these places where people are alleging to be government, you ain't supposed to be teaching them jack. They supposed to know already. So don't be letting your ego run away with you. But you have to prove your age and identity, right? So I'm like, oh. Then they say acceptable documents. Let's look at what they call acceptable. I meant to make copies of this for you guys, but I didn't have time. For you to get a driving instrument, proof of age and acceptable identity documents. Listed below are acceptable documents you can use provided they include your full name. Now, here in the blurb, it says you must provide 2 documents from this category. One of the documents must contain your full name and date of birth. Listed on the menu below are examples of documents you can use provided they include your name. Now, let me tell you how I would utilize that. To get past that, it said examples. All right, well, I got some other examples, right? But they say listed below. For driver's license, it says driver's license, learner's permit, or state-issued identification card from North Carolina or another state, Puerto Rico, a U.S. territory, or a Canadian province that is expired less than 10 years. The DL or ID or learner's permit submitted must reflect a photo. So now they just said, we will only accept one form of identification from another corporation. So what does that violate? What does that violate? You got to be more specific. What are they violating when they say we're only accepting from these corporations? Yes, we only accept it from these corporations. What is that violating? It is the First Amendment. What part of it, though? Not the religious part. Yes?
Your liberty.
Speak up, I can't hear you. Nope. It don't matter about that. Let me give it to you. It is your First Amendment right. It is your right to contract.
Oh.
They're all corporations. This corporation is saying, now Department of Motor Vehicle is a corporation as well. They're a contractor. Most people think they're government. They're not government. They are a government contractor. They were hired to administer the law. They're using statute as the policy and procedure to administer the law, but nobody knows what the law is that this is administering. They just say it's the law. No, that's the policy. That's the what you wrote to administer. That's why they say it's administrative. Because they're administering a law. Well, what law is this administering? No, they're writing statutes because statutes are not law. Statutes are policies and procedures. That's administrative. They tell you that all the time, even on these so-called police. Right? No, exactly. This whole thing doesn't apply to you, but I'm going to show you where they show you in this that this is so bogus, and they put it on the internet, and I made a copy. All right? So the second form of identification to prove your age and acceptable identity is the birth certificate. It says certified birth certificate issued by a government agency in the U.S., Puerto Rico, a U.S. territory or Canada, or U.S. report of consulate birth abroad. No photocopies allowed. unless certified by issuing agency. Now, all of those that they just named, they're not government. You do know that, right? They're all contractors or corporations. Now, I don't know who wrote this, but it doesn't matter because, see, all of this is for people who are engaging in commerce. You got to be clear about that, but you need to analyze it so that you can know how you can use it. You don't want to go in there slamming and say, well, I don't need a birth certificate because I am not a 14th Amendment person. I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't go there because this applies to somebody. It just doesn't apply to me. All right? It applies to somebody. It doesn't apply to me. It applies to people who are engaging in commercial activity, meaning you're a chauffeur. I don't mean a Moorish chauffeur either. I mean a modern European, somebody under that category. Somebody who's in, like, for example, and this is for the license, right? Now, let me tell you, the whole license, getting a license so that you can drive, for example, the, what do you call it, the New York Transit bus, that's fraud too. People don't even get that. Why? If I don't have to insure the bus, why I got to get a license to operate the bus? You see what I'm saying? Do you get the connection? I got to pay. No, what's supposed to happen is those companies are supposed to get a license that blankets everybody who operates, just like the insurance. But they pass their obligation on to the people. And the people, they not only do they pay it, but they never dispute it. All of this stuff happens because the people remain silent. They violate the liberties, They squeeze you and squeeze you and squeeze you, and nobody even says, ow! Nobody. Yes. What? No, where they say that? Well, we were never the slaves, because slave means Slavic. What slavery is in what system? This is Africa right here. All right, so where's the slavery?
In America.
Where? Well, see, here's the thing. But the slaves that were here was not us, because the word slave refers to Slavic. You're not Slavic, are you? You're not Slavic, are you? No.
We are all connected together.
No, we are not, honey. No, we are not.
That's the law of heritage.
No, you're right. The law of heritage means that you got to know who your family is. Modern Europeans is not your family. That's why they are absolutely different in every way, shape, or form than us. No, it's not an argument. It's a scientific fact. It's a scientific fact. What was that? All right. Everybody is connected to a family through the mother. That's right. Through the mother. But you have to identify who your mother is and who your family is. That's right. That's right. No, your mother is not anything. Your mother cannot be anything. Your mother is the heritage. Look, I'm in my markers. Mother is the line that all of us come through. All right? If it wasn't for mother, none of us would be here. Ever. I know. But we're going to continue because that's another lesson. We're going to continue. So the birth certificate also. Now, where did the birth certificates come from? No. And the counties are what? So that violates what? First Amendment right to contract. Exactly. Then they say a third is the original Social Security card. When making application for an original identification card, is that an identification card?
No.
Why is it not an identification card? No. Say it again. Doesn't have your nationality.
That's New York State identification card.
This is from, no, it's all of these identification cards.
I know it's a state.
No, it's not a state because you didn't get it. You really didn't necessarily get it. Well, you got it from an agency that is misapplying an application.
I was doing the identification card.
Mm-hmm.
This is the New York State identification card. This is what you want.
No, it's not.
It's the New York State identification.
And you know what? And the Social Security card, it says the same thing. Right. It's the property of the Social Security Administration. However, the scam is you paid for it. They ask you for it as some means of identifying you, but it's not yours. And it doesn't identify you at all. Islam? What? Well, that's a birth certificate. This is a Social Security card, and it said that when making application for an original identification card, now they just said that the right to drive, the little card, the license, because we know driver's license means permission to do something. They're saying that this permission that we're authorizing you to do something that otherwise would be illegal is now an identification card. Now, the only way I can say that is because they know the vast majority of us are uneducated. We don't know nothing. We don't know language. We don't know words. We don't look up things in the dictionary. We don't question nothing. Things are told to us, and we just run with it. Right? That's why they can get away with this. Then they say, learner's permit or driver's license, it is required that you provide DMV with a valid Social Security number. If you are not eligible for a Social Security number, you must provide documentation issued by the United States government indicating legal presence. Now, let me just say this. Everybody in here, none of you qualify for a Social Security number. You know why? Nope. Do you know why? I hear crickets. You do not qualify for a Social Security number because Social Security numbers are only given to federal employees. Supposed to be. They're supposed to be given to federal employees only. That's right in their policy book. But Hoover decided that it was a magnificent way to track the people. So they extended it from their federal employees to everybody, and it is through that, and out of his own words, J. Edgar Hoover said, this is a marvelous way to track the people, and we can make notations as to what they have done that we have classified are criminal acts. And so when we put in that number anywhere in the so-called United States, under the jurisdiction of the United States of America, we can find out everything that they've done in their lifetime, and we can make finance off of them just because of that. It's right in the J. Edgar Hoover movie. How many saw that? The J. Edgar Hoover movie. He said it. I said, ooh, somebody throwing Edgar under the bus. Another form of identification is tax forms that reflect your full name and full SSN or W-2 or 1099. Really? Really? Exactly. 5, motor vehicle driver's record. Certified North Carolina motor vehicle record, non-certified North Carolina motor vehicle record, certified out-of-state motor vehicle record. And then 6, school documents. You might think, well, we can use our Moorish Heritage and History School, right? No. It says North Carolina transcripts and registration signed by a school official or diploma or GED from a North Carolina school, community college, or North Carolina University. Did they just hinder your liberties? What did they just say? Unless you have engaged in some sort of contract with this corporation, you do not have the right to travel. Then it says driver's education certificate, driving eligibility certificate, and report cards are not accepted as proof of identification. What? What, for military? Well, let's see, because number 7 is U.S. military ID. U.S. military ID valid, unexpired. U.S. military ID including DD-2, DD-214, or U.S. military dependence card, U.S. veteran universal access card. Was it expired? What's that? 214. Oh, really? They're saying they will accept that as proof of identification. So now that means that they're not standard across the board, which is a problem. All right, the next issue, the next item that you can use as a valid form of identification is a passport. It has to be valid, unexpired passport from any nation. Now, what's the problem with the passport? Right, why? No, we just talked about this. We talked about it, Sister Standing Along, when we went through the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. What is a passport? That's right. Passport is for a ship. Why? No. A passport is for a ship because the ship needs a pass in order to pass the port. It's right in the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, and when you go into your Black's Law 4th edition dictionary and you look up the definition of pass and passport, it's right there. They're not even hiding it. But they do this. Why? Because they know we're not going to look it up in a dictionary, not an unabridged dictionary, not a Black's Law 4th edition dictionary. We're not going to do anything. We're just going to move along and do whatever they say. They count on us doing that. And how do they ensure that we continue to do that? By establishing these corporations, and then on the front they put a school. They put the word school, and then they petition the Fed for finance because they are providing a product, they're providing a service. We could have done the very same thing, but we didn't. So now they got the funding to establish this school for our children, and then they miseducate them intentionally. And they know that they know that we're going to send our children to these institutions, these mental institutions. They're going to come home, and we're not going to teach them their true history. Even when we had the time to teach them their true history, we wasn't teaching them their true history. And now we don't have the time because everybody is working.
But a lot of our people don't know the true history.
And don't want to know. They don't want to know. How many of you have gone up to people, family that look just like me and you have given them true history? They will cut you down, right? Hold on. And you know what? Medea, she said, oh, you come from Africa. I come from Africa. I came from North Carolina, drove up here in my Cadillac, and that's how I got here. And she's making a joke because that's how many of our people think. They don't know geography. They don't know language. They don't know law. They They don't know cosmology. They don't know astrology. All of that is being used against them. And they sitting there talking about, yes, Jesus, I'm waiting on Jesus. Don't know Jesus is close for justice. Justice is showing up and whipping you on your ass every single day because you're denying your family lineage. What?
Where do you live at? You live in, I live in my house.
Exactly. Where do you live? Inside of me? Well, where do you take? I take mail at several different locations. Yes, I do. I take mail at several different. Say that again?
I take mail in the care home.
Exactly. But you know what? This is where the prophet said you're going to need each other more than ever before, and he's so absolutely correct. Because, look, I know all of you. How many people reside, how many people in this area take mail in this area? How many people don't take mail in this area? All right, look, if we really want to act like family, all right, I should be hooking up for him. What's your mailing location? I'm going to exchange mailing locations. I'm going to exchange mailing locations with you, with her. So now when they're asked, where do you take mail? Well, I take mail at several different locations. Up in Massachusetts, New York, Florida, Alaska. Which one would you live? All right. Well, how can you live all these places? Yes, the hell I do, because this is my ancestral estate. Hello, every part of North America, South America, Central America. Hey, I got a mailing address in the Caribbean islands. You want that one too? All right? All right? Because this is your ancestral estate. That's why you gotta study. You gotta study because these people, they have mentally conditioned you to just say, oh, I live at 124, South Street in New York, New York. Is that true? And they don't even ask you, is that your only mailing location? Is that no? They say, what's your address? Right? Now, we don't think strategically, but the prophet said we're going to need each other more than ever before. Everybody on Facebook, oh, where you at? Where you at? Oh, and everybody is high-fiving on Facebook. Oh, good demonstration. What did you demonstrate? Good demonstration. Y'all don't even know each other's mailing location, exchanging it and using it like family. But everybody's on Facebook. We got these systems. We need to be utilizing it for the betterment of our family. But instead, we're using Facebook because we want people to. We want to feel important. You know what? When Facebook came out, I was like, you're crazy. Y'all people is crazy. I'm down the street. Facebook. I'm going to the movies. Facebook. I'm going to Northern Taylor. Facebook. I just spent $250 with some apple bottom jeans. I'm going to be at the club Saturday. If I wanted to murder you, I knew exactly where to go. What? But that's my point. We're using these things not for our benefit, for theirs. It's called thinking. I just said it right here. There was a couple of years ago, I said, why are we utilizing the United States Postal Service, which is a contractor, by the way, go Google it. They got established in 1971. That's not the United States Postmaster anymore. That's a contractor. USPS. You Google them. They're operating unlawfully because the mail is supposed to be free from everybody's obligation, because if anything go down here, supposed to be able to communicate that freely to the family. The USPS was established in 1971 to administer the mail. That's why all of the people that work at the post office are contractors, and they're pissing mad. That's why they went postal, because they're not postal workers of the federal government. They're postal workers of the USPS contractor, and they will tell you, if you go in there, that we got a shitty package. And they're, no, they don't. No, well, you go and ask them, well, are you a union? So they'll tell you, yeah, well, federal employees are not union. Well, they might think they are, but they're not. Yes, they don't. They're not federal. They're they don't. Well, let me just say this. When I went to the post office a couple of years ago, the ones that usually will give you the heads up on what's what, sorry to say, is usually modern Europeans. They will give you the heads up. Because I went in there one day, and this European daughter, she let me know, we're contractors. I was like, really? She said, yes. I was very sympathetic for her. Because, see, when you talk to them in an intelligent tone, they will give up so much information. She told me that, well, we got crappy benefits, but the real, they're set. I was like, wow. I said, but that's not fair. She said, it is not. And that's why I can't wait to get out of here. So that's why they go postal, because they're not they're not federal employees. They're contractors. They're employees of the contractor. Well, it doesn't matter because, let me just say this. People will say, you need to call the sheriff. The sheriff is a police disguised as a sheriff. Who is the sheriff? Can I have all the sheriffs stand up, please? Come on now. Can I have all the sheriffs stand up, please? That's what I'm talking about. You guns. The sisters can be sheriffs too now, because they're the original warrior now. The original warrior, the original sheriff is mother. All of these sons, y'all, I know y'all watch karate movies, right? I still watch karate movies, right? But if you go back to really, really old karate movies, who is kicking butt? That's right. That's right. But the original karate expert was an Asiatic mother. And you know what's crazy? In Japan and China, every year they honor us. Every year they have a ceremony where they give honor to their ancestors, us. I'm back at it. Okay. Go ahead.
You were talking about passport.
Mhm.
There are different passports.
I don't know, but
when you come from a different country, like here, my passport, like the dark blue, some passports are actually yellow.
I think, yeah, probably. Because when we came over to this portion of the land, I didn't come over on a passport. I didn't have a passport. I never had a passport. My siblings, they have passports. I'm the only one that don't. I don't. There were back in the day, I was considering going back, but I guess every time I try to leave here, the universe just rubber bands me right back here, and so I stopped trying to go.
Brother of mine, he didn't use his passport. They gave him a hard time, and they put him in a little room.
Mm-hmm.
They would escort him out with his bags. They had people carry his bags out and everything.
Well, see, the way that you have to see that there's so many. They're not trying to lose their finance because this game is about how much Federal Reserve notes credit can I get from the unconscious people. Those unconscious people that they're primarily looking at is the Asiatic people, the melanated people. All right, because we're the biggest consumers. We are the economy. So they know that if 1Z, 2Z of you come through and you know the law and you stand on it, they're going to let you go. Yes, they are. They're going to let you go because they already know that all of the people at that airport, they're corporations. If you demonstrate that not only do you know the law, you don't have to be arrogant or nothing because it's all in the energy, because that's why studying is so important, because the more you study, the more your energy, it gets quiet and forceful. Two very dangerous combinations, quiet and forceful. When they see that quiet storm come in, they know, no, this one I don't want to mess with. I'm going to lose way too much finance, and they might talk.
I use my nationality card to travel to New York, North Carolina, Charlotte.
Yep. Rob does it all the time as well. Rob traveled from the New Jersey airport to California airport. Dooley travels on his nationality card all the time. Yes. What you mean country to country? Overseas to where? Goodbye. Well, here's the thing, and people got to recognize this. We are being hemmed up by corporations. Corporations have no right to violate the liberties of the people. If you're traveling, you're traveling. I don't care if it's over the land, because, see, under the water is land as well. I don't care if it's by what they call sea or air. Everybody has the right to travel. And you know what? In the Articles of Confederation, and I think also in the American Constitution, it says that your ingress and regress, it's prohibited from them violating your right to free ingress and regress. How many people know what that is? Ingress and regress? What? Come on. Come and go. Your right to come and go. Ingress and regress. Come and go. They don't have the right to violate that. But up here in this area, they violate it all day long. Because they got told everywhere, you can't come and go freely nowhere.
They use these words because, you got byways, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go by highway
and
parkway, which is their word.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go into the Constitution, they use other words.
But the problem is, highways and byways, they don't stand on their own. Those highways and byways is on the ancestral estate of the Moors. So the ingress and regress still apply. Because I know that those supplies they got to put down those highways and byways came from my ancestral estate. Right. So we got to look at it from the perspective, really, we have to always be looking at it from the perspective of, this is my ancestral estate, you're a corporation, you don't have the right to dictate my actions ever. 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 I don't care who you are. All right? So now, say that again? It's in the Articles of Confederation, and it's also in the American Constitution. I don't remember exactly where, but I know it's there. Then they have proof of Social Security. You can provide either the Social Security card, 1099 tax form, W-2, DD-214 payroll record, Social Security document reflecting the Social Security number, military record reflecting the Social Security number. Why would you never give them a Social Security number, whether you got one or not? Well, they do. You're right. On the back of the card, it says, do not give this number to anyone. It says that on the back of the card. Plus, it's the insurance policy number. So now when you call up these places and they say, I need your Social Security number, most people will never say, what do you need my insurance policy number for? I know. But you know what? I've been saying it's a policy number, and if you go to the post office, they have these little purple pamphlets that says Selective Service. Grab one. Grab one. Because when you open it up, it says Social Security account number. When you go to the post office, they have these little purple, they're like folded like this. It's like 5.5 by 7. It's a brochure. It's purple. It says Selective Service. When you open it up, it says Social Security account number. Let me finish. So there's some more. I just want to get through this. They say you have to provide these proof of age and identity, proof of Social Security, proof of residency. If you are a U.S. citizen and a first-time customer, I was like, what? Wait a minute. Customer? I was like, oh, wait a minute now. Customer? So when did I voluntarily become a customer? Because this sounds like some coercion. All right? Let's see. That's why I printed it down. Because that right there, if you are a first-time customer in North Carolina, all right now. If you are not a U.S. citizen, you must provide documentation issued by the U.S. government indicating legal presence. And I think I had printed something about that because proof of legal presence in the U.S. I-551 permanent resident alien, permanent resident card, machine-readable immigrant visa, immigrant. So it clearly doesn't apply to us. I don't care. See, I'm going to tell you, a lot of people, they don't get that this is about birthright. They think it's about where you were born. It's not about where you were born. Your nationality is not based on where you were born. Your nationality is based on bloodline. And your bloodline comes from your mother. And everybody gets it all muddied up. I'm going to go and get my DNA tested so I can find out which part of Africa I come from and what my tribal family is. And I'm going and then I'll know. And then I'll know, am I a Cherokee or a Blackfoot or a Yamasee? And I'm going to get all of that is dumb. You know why? Because there's only two families. You got the modern European, and you got the Moors. There's only two families. There you go, the Occidentals and the Orientals. All right? you got the Occidental and the Oriental, and you got to know which one you are, but it's about two families. And they muddy up the water by trying to get the sons to claim the modern European daughter's offspring. And look, all women come here with the nation in their womb already. That's it. The son's obligation really is to make sure that the home, the family is protected. It's really an honor when a sister allows you to claim her egg. It's really an honor. Really, but the modern European got all the Asiatic sons thinking, well, that's my seed, and I can do anything I want with it, and don't you be trying to take my seed from me, because I put that seed in you, and I can take it out, and all this other bullshit. That's my seed, and if I didn't put my seed in her, she couldn't be pregnant. Man, she came here with the babies in her. And he's right. And let me tell you, these modern Europeans, they figured out a way to get us to fight each other. There ain't nothing new. We're in this situation because we won't stop fighting each other. There ain't nothing going on this planet Earth except mother and son. Ain't no mother and father. she is mother and father. It's only mother and son. But they play on the ego of the son. They be like, you know, you put him in this role. Why are you letting her get away with talking you? Come on, take her to court. Take her to court. Isn't that what they do? No, and it goes both ways, because then they'll go to the system and say, hey, that motherfucker's supposed to be paying for that child. You better go take his ass to court. And then what do? They take him to court, and then they say, well, if you don't pay, then we're going to take your right to travel away. We're going to suspend the driving instrument. Right now you can't go to work. Yeah, but it doesn't matter because the birth certificate is all a joke. It's all a part of the confusion, the misinformation. Because here's the thing, and I'll show you how the birth certificate is a joke. Because some modern Europeans know that she is the mother and father. They get down every night and pray to mother every night. All right, so they know she is mother and father, but they want the son to think that he's father, because if they tell him the truth, he's not going to fight with her. She's not going to fight with him, and there will be no division. And they will join up and whoop that modern European and kick him off of the estate. That's right. That's right. And it's so easy to implement. Because you got the brothers with high ego and you got the sisters, man, when they're vindictiveness, it is to her. Forget about it. You just met the wrath of Allah. It's a wrath. It's a wrath. The wrath of Allah is no joke. All these sons around here talking about, I'm the head of the house. No, you not. No, you not. No, you're not. She is. She's a little bitty piece of nothing, and you are afraid of her because when the wrath of Allah shows up, she is like a 20-foot giant with 6 arms, and she starts coming after you, and you will run. I don't care what you say. When my children's father totaled my damn brand new car that I only had for 3 months, he didn't come home for 2 days, and when he did, he showed up with his cousin. I'm a little bit of thing, and he's a big old bear. So don't tell me about you run the house. You don't. She runs the house. But here's the thing. Don't be getting mad about that. Where does she not run things? You go to the hospital. Who's running things? You go to the courthouse. Who's running things? You go stand in front of the magistrate. Who's running things? You go into the church. Who's running things? You go into the temple. Who's running things? She runs everything. So why we been getting our pennies in a bunch about that? Really what we need to be doing is getting on her good side so she can run things for you and make sure that you are safe, because you mess with a sister's son and you will find the wrath of Allah will show up every day. Every day. Look, you mess with a sister's baby or her man, they're the same. Don't matter, they're the same. She will walk into that court and she will shut it down. You think they won't? You think they won't release that boy? Yes, they will. When my last daughter was born, they wanted to try and tell me that she had some kind of lung problem. I said, well, yeah, because your asses is letting her cry. So I think you need to go home. Well, I'm going home. She's going home with me. No, why you don't trust us? No, I don't. I said, if I leave and come back here and anything is wrong with my baby, I will tear this bitch down brick by brick. Yes, I will. So don't tell me, am I right? Am I right, sisters? Am I right? Look, you mess with a sister's baby, and they will. I remember a couple of years ago, there was a sister. It was in a car crash. The car rolled over, threw her out. You remember? And her baby was stuck in the car. She picked that car up and rolled it over and got her baby out that car. They asked her, where'd you find the strength to do that? That was the wrath of Allah. I'm telling you, son, y'all don't know. Y'all got a secret weapon. Her name is her. But this was from North Carolina. I'm going to go around, and I would encourage you to do the same. Go and pull up the requirements for each union state in terms of the license. Go pull it up, print it down, bring it to class. Let's talk about it. See what you see. Because many of them, I know, but we want a proactive way to sue. So here's what you do. Many of them follow the same policy and procedures. Many of them, you know why? Because states can't make laws. They can only write statutes, which is to administer whatever the feds have regulated. All right, what the feds have said is that these are the requirements for license and registration, but this only applies to commercial activity. It's right in chapter 49 of the United States Code. It's right in there. If you go and you look, it says the license, when you look, it says commercial driver's license, commercial driver's license, commercial registration, commercial driver's license. That's all it's talking about. So these states have written an administrative procedure for that, but they did not write the law. So whenever they're talking about motor vehicle, anything, they're talking about commercial activity, period. That's it. USC 49. That's why they were so bold enough to say that if you are a first-time customer in North Carolina, should be first-time customer of North Carolina, because you can never be in North Carolina because North Carolina's corporation. I can't remember.
All right. When I first joined the post office, right?
Yeah.
I had a commercial driver's license, right? Then I had to go and get a CDL.
You
know what a CDL is?
Commercial driver's license.
So you would have to turn in your commercial driver's license
to get a commercial driver's license. Yes, that's very interesting. Yes.
Just so right about, I've had 3 different licenses in 3 different states. I lived in North Carolina for a long time.
You mean you live near corporation? Live near?
Live near it. I have never seen nothing like that. You have to have insurance on
your license, right?
On your license. Yeah, you don't even
I saw that.
You don't even have to have a car.
I saw that. Yes. Hold on now. I saw that on here, and I was like, they must be talking about the automobile because you ain't got a car yet. But I did see that. Wait. Take the test, other insurance fees. Where is, I must be missing a page. Oh, no, it says 1 of 3. Other registrations. Oh, you will need 1 document from this category. It says proof of liability insurance. Yes, I thought that was an error. North Carolina law requires that you provide proof of insurance when registering your vehicle. Your vehicle must be insured by a company licensed to do business in the state of North Carolina. But it's talking about registration, but
so to have a license, you got to have.
When you get the license, you got to have insurance first.
Yeah.
You got to have insurance on the license.
And you never challenged that?
I didn't know no better. And
I know not. I know I was knew better.
Because what was going on is a lot of my cousins, the Mexican brothers, they be driving, they crash.
Well, really, let me tell you how the whole right to travel is supposed to work. And it don't matter what the issue is. I don't care if it's, your car was damaged, or your radio was stolen, or your TV was taken out of your home, or whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. What is supposed to happen is, for example, if this is my phone and he took it, all right, I'm supposed to write a writ to him saying, yo, I gave you my phone. I'm going to be nice and say, I noticed that my phone was missing. You may have accidentally borrowed it, but I'm asking you to return it on such and such a time, on such and such a day. Thank you very much, whatever. You send him the writ. Now, if he responds back and says, no problem, it was an honest mistake, I'm going to return it to you on at the same time and place indicated, you're done. But if he doesn't respond, now you can take this into, well, actually, the same thing applies. You basically win by default. You could show up with the sheriff to retrieve your property. No, they show up with a modern European who you have to pay for him to do a job. And see, sheriff ain't supposed to be getting paid like that because the taxes. Because see, we're supposed to be, if we're paying taxes, we're supposed to be paying it for our government, not somebody else's. So that's how the sheriff gets paid. But the sheriff, our sheriffs is our work. Yeah, we pay taxes. And to a foreigner. All right, so now the next scenario is I write him and he responds back and he says, this is my phone. I purchased it on such and such a day. You took it and never returned it to me. And so when I was at your home, I just took it because I saw it lying there. Checked serial number, and it is the same serial number as my phone. And so I took it. Now we got to go in front of a neutral party, and he's got to bring his documentation. I got to bring my documentation, and they reviews it impartially. I would say he's impartial to the whole thing. So he reviews his document, my document, makes a determination, and that's it.
Is he impartial?
Supposed to be. Well, that's what's supposed to be happening. Like, if you and him are brothers, then you can't be impartial. So I got to go to the sister. Now, but if that's his sister for real, then I can't go to her. I got to go to him back there. But it's supposed to be impartial. But if he has the receipt that shows the serial number and it matches with the phone, I am out. But now, let's say he showed a receipt that has the serial number, proves that that is, in fact, his phone. Because I appear to be lying, does anything happen to me? I mean, in the real scenario, in the lawful scenario. In the lawful scenario, does anything happen to me? No. But in the modern European world, they're going to snatch me and get income from me because I didn't. It appears that I did not tell the truth. Now, what's jacked up about that is that they're going to snatch me. They're going to get income from me because I didn't. There's an appearance that I didn't tell the truth. Now, he doesn't get none of that income. That's the income that they're going to, because they're going to snatch me, put me and get something. They're going to put me in prison, right? And then they're going to demand some sort of income from me to be released, right? He's not going to get none of that. He is the injured party. That's the fraud. That's the fraud. No. What they did is they used it as an opportunity to get income. That's the court, that's the prison. Because now, if we go through their system and it is shown that it is in fact his phone, what they are probably going to do is kidnap me. So, he committed perjury. No, I honestly thought that was my phone. It just so happens that he had a receipt and I didn't. But they're going to kidnap me, and they're going to make me pay for these imposters sitting there and talking about they're making an impartial decision on a people of a different nationality and family lineage. But that's not supposed to be happening. The only reason it happens is because we do not honor our mothers, our foremothers, and our forefathers, and we think that we are related to modern Europeans, and we're not. We're not, and we never will be. And that's why they can get over on us all day, every day.
What way do we need Europe? Yeah, what way?
because we have, I explained this about a week or two ago. Of course, I said the sons will hook up with a modern European, claim her egg that she came here with, right? As his. Yes. That's how these modern Europeans even got to be in a position to call themselves Sharif, because they were never eligible to be Sharif. Sharif is a noble title. It only can be applied to a Moor. But if a Moorish son claims a European daughter's child, so like he's Moorish son. No, he's not. He's modern European. He is exactly what the mother is. He's not what the father is. He's what the mother is. But he claims that European daughter's son and puts the Moorish title on him unlawfully. All right? Now when he hooks up with another modern European and he has a child, our title is going to pass from that modern European son to the modern European he's going to hook up with, and that's called transfer of inheritance. Now, it happens with the sisters, too. The story of Pocahontas, Rebecca hooked up with a modern European. It happens all the time. She hooks up with a modern European. She gave birth to a son. What happened? She was murdered. She was taken to graves and then murdered. And then her son, who is a Moor, was taken to Great Britain and mentally indoctrinated. Who do you think he hooked up with? European daughter. That's right. European daughter. He claims her offspring, and then where does the line transfer to? Modern European. It's called birthright theft. That's right. Yeah. You call who your children? Well, they're mother's children all day long, but they would be your brother or sister. But they're not your children because you ain't got no eggs in your ovaries. Well, the sisters, the European daughters were not put in the mountains, only the sons, and that's why they lean towards homosexuality. The European sons, see, the modern Europeans was created in the laboratories of the Yucatan down in South America. But as you all know, modern Europeans sons especially, cannot take the heat. In the wintertime, they will be walking out there with flip-flops, a tank top, and shorts, right? So because of that, we put them up in the Caucasoid Mountains where it is cold. Only the sons. Because the daughters, they can deal a little bit with temperatures, not extreme temperatures, but the sons can't. And so because the sons, all of them was up there by themselves, they lean towards homosexuality. Right. Well, if you notice today, see, because that's their history, that's not ours. But if you notice today, they're trying to get a lot of people comfortable with the idea of homosexuality. So they got all of these movies, and then they got the sellout so-called musicians singing songs about except the gays and the lesbians. I'm not saying that you should injure them. I'm just saying that they're trying to make it more comfortable and acceptable. And now, because it is acceptable, you got some Asiatic sons exploring that, and now they're leaning in that direction.
But now they're trying to make they're not bisexual or homosexual or abnormal.
Well, but that's a mental conditioning, and it's going into. You're right. Well, what they're trying to do. And it is a hate crime because you're not supposed to be beating up on anybody just because of their sexual preference. But if you look outside of this country, this is the only country, this is the only land where you got people obsessed with what's going on in everybody's bedroom. This is the only part. It's the only portion of the land where everybody who you sleeping with. I mean, they want to know everybody's dirt, and then you got these goddamn preachers coming in and say, "Well, come and tell me all your secrets in the confessional." Herbert. You can't tell me that's not perverted, because and then they get all full of all of these confessions that they turn into, these just twisted people. Because if you're listening, look, it's a scientific fact that if you listen to something over and over and over again, it starts to become acceptable. All right? So now if you go and you're telling this preacher man your sins in this confessional, at some point he's going to become perverted, and it's going to start to look interesting to him. He's supposed to be helping you to overcome that, but instead, because he's hearing it so often, he starts to, wow, I wonder what that would feel like. Yes, it is.
Absolutely not. But now the conflict is going to be about that for the coming generations, and for now, cause conflict with the people, period, right now. So if you look at those commercials, they even all, you listen to subliminal, they talk about their best friends, their children, their dogs. They're not lying to you. See, this is the problem we have. We're so absurd. We're so, oh my gosh, look at what they're doing now. It's not new. It's just that the programming of the mind. You're able to see it. Other people are not. So now you have people who feel comfortable now and they're accepted because they're gay. We're not saying, or what they call gay. We're not saying that people can make love to whoever they want, physically be intimate to. That's not even anybody's business. They want to make it like it's normal. But I thought yesterday they told you that you go by what the dog said, and, it's Adam and Eve, and, you got to get married, and here's the now they're taking it to marriage license that you never needed in the first place, and they're turning it over to be, not a man and a woman could get married, but a man and a man could get married, and a woman could get married, and pretty soon, don't be surprised, a man and a dog will get married. It's real. Oh, yes. They got one right for dogs. Yes. It's the company. Now, hold on. We need to look at ourselves and say, how much more ridiculousness are we going to sit back and accept and have enter into our lives? Period. In our community, it's time. The time is now. It's either going to be or it's not. Well, let me explain what I'm trying to say to you is this. Anytime you go anywhere and you got to get permission from anyone for who you're obligated to, then you know it's not real. Who has authority for that? It's just like right now, who gives authority for them to pull you out on the street of a car, of a conveyance, because you didn't have a driver's license, which is an inalienable right to travel? What gives them the right to put their hands on you? No one ever thinks about that. Here's what people think. Oh, they're the government, so they're in charge. No, not the government. You can scratch the government, because government means governmental, and that means that's why as society starts with family, so does it start to govern mothers. Because it's your family, you put society out. That's why you got to get with it. Yes. Sister, stop. It's sadness. These are your babies. That actually people or creates the society. Your children coming out of your womb. But the thing that I'm saying is that, so forget, they don't say government. They're saying, oh, well, that's the law. Yes. They're not the law. Because you think there's a law, we have gone along with this. Wait a minute, hold on. And even if it was the law, let's get real. Let's get down in the trenches with whatever the thoughts are. Because I try to know what you always said, if I can get you to think and just free yourself. Let's just say they were the law. when do they still get the authority to put their hands on you like you are an animal or something? That doesn't make it all right. So you got to stop peeling the veil off and say, okay, yeah, I can do the government. Oh, no, they're not government. A government concerns people's rights. Okay, all right, well, I think they're law. Oh, really? They're law? How so? Does that still mean that so it's, the veils are coming off, and you're either going to be able to resonate with the vibration or you're not. No,
This is why.
but Joshua already said, and all these people who say that they've been going to church and they love Jesus and God, and they want to call Jesus God and the Father and the Holy Ghost, anything but the mother, right? They already said, Tim, it covers that my people suffer for what?
That's knowledge.
That's what it is.
But it's so in clear sight, and you won't see it. Like,
Why does it for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear?
Russell was chopping right up without doctor before now, and they went upstairs and shot and told the issue about coming in the door, busted it down, and so on. The issue was they thought he had a gun.
Because of the ridiculousness at this point, how we have allowed people to violate our house. And it's so freaking ridiculous that it comes to a point where they start making up ridiculous things for ridiculous people who are ridiculous about preserving their own personal, look, these are personal liberties. And the people don't seem to give a good hoot about their own personal liberties. Period. We got to change that. And then there's the law. How do you think it's the law? Do you not know what law is? No. That's right. Because we got our personal law. No. And one last thing for me, anyway, that I wanted to ask. I had two people in question, and I thought it was interesting. And one was in the United UN. Everybody talk about that. Get your seat in the UN. The seat in the UN. Come on, y'all heard. First of all, what do you want in the UN? It's already affirmed that you have original indigenous and that you have right to come to why people want to now go and get right. They have no right to be there. We have no right to be there. We have to start being because you and for those people that represented that you have our expertise and the real problem is we're so mentally screwed up. You don't believe that everything is you don't know how it is. You don't believe that. What? They don't believe that. Well, don't come to people like so and they follow by the original people of this earth. You and you think that you so they do all the time. We're the kings, we're the queens, we're the this, we're the that, we was here first. Okay, well, act like it then. Act like it. Yeah, let's go through the line. Bottom line, that was the second thing, if I may, because I knew it was almost time to go. I'm going to say this. Hold on to that suit thing for a second. Yeah. I want to reiterate one more time. You don't believe who you are. We don't know who we are. We don't believe who we are. And we got to let go of going to the UN to get a seat. It's just like people saying, well, the Constitution really wasn't written by us. Nope, it wasn't even written for us. But where do you think they were appealing to when it was being drafted? Who do you think in Articles of Association 1774 was the Continental Congress, the Congress that they came to and agreed that they were going to go along with the Congress? Who do you think those people were? Because it sure wasn't them. It sure wasn't them. It sure was not them. But so how are you going to say that, well, you know, the Constitution, you know, it really, it wasn't really written for us. No, it wasn't written for us. But it's written on the principles of divine law. Lastly, all the stuff that is being shared here tonight and that we all gone through, myself included, one thing has occurred or has not occurred. You said it. We have not sued these people civilly, professionally, in their professional and private capacity.
Yep.
That is why after the big rush came through of Moors and some of them stepped back and like, oh, shoot, they got it right. And then they found out, oh, but they didn't go sue us. So let's collect some more. Got to sue them, right?
Yeah. I know Moorish brother. Melvin Hill. He sued the government right there in North Carolina. What is the paper?
Well, who said it had to be the paper? That's another thing. That's another thing. Let's get this straight right now. Because we don't believe that we have regionalization, same thing goes when we don't believe that, well, can you bring some precedent for Moor? I need some precedent, you know, like show some precedent law that Moor won. Listen, first of all, this is about the law, period. That's already the precedent. See, and until we take that attitude that this is about enforcing the law, that it's already precedent, it's not going to go down. Because that has to come out of your head that I'm going to show you a precedent for more. He just proved it. There's many more. We got many more, but the sister here had some comments. They're not going to put it in the newspaper because, no. So stop asking for, but you know what, whether they do or whether they don't. The point is, precedence is already done. It exists already as the law. Enforce it. Now, here's the deal. Really? They're out there grabbing people off the highway, stalking them? I don't know. They seem like gangsters in disguise wearing uniforms. How do they tease that, though? How do they tease that when the law comes in disguise? Now, you got to think for a second. What do they mean by that? That means that policy enforcer that you think is the law, that you think is a policeman when he's not. He's a private security guard, is in disguise when he stops you on the highway. That's what it means.
That's right.
Now, where are our people? Where are our guards?
Where are our sheriffs?
Where are our sheriffs? You call the sheriff. You are the sheriff. Because they don't believe they're Aboriginal indigenous. They believe there needs to be some precedent. And as long as you believe that, you ain't never going to get it because they're going to make sure you don't. Because, one, they ain't never printing it. So what you waiting for? Because you have to have your own newspapers to print your own stuff.
That's the thing. If you go back and you look at a lot of the cases prior to 1800, they got the case law too. All right? That's the case laws from Moors. Those are case laws from Moors. That's why they had that thing, the Erie Railroad. Y'all heard about that Erie Railroad where ever since this Erie Railroad case came into like 1931, 1934, somewhere around there, they said, oh, we went from law to commercial law. That's some bullshit. Bullshit. That's what that is. Bullshit. Because where in the Constitution would they be allowed to do that? And how come everybody don't know about that? But see, the lawyers, first of all, the lawyers would be everybody in here, the layman lawyers. The attorneys would have done that. Now, the attorneys, okay, now we're talking about attorneys. Attorneys work for county corporations. County corporations is not government. But they convinced everybody, look, basically this is what they said. Don't use any valid case law prior to 1939. And then they said this to the modern Europeans. The modern Europeans came up and they put this in their little book because I read it, and it didn't make no sense to me. So I use it. I go back to the 1800s case law, and I want somebody to tell me I can't use that.
Well, we Europeans going back.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're going back, but you can't. And the law that they're going back and using was written by your ancestors. You see the trick? They don't want you to go back and use it. So then they've got some modern European, because, you know, we twist it that way. We don't do jack unless a modern European co-signs it. So now you got the modern European to say, well, you know, because of the Erie Railroad case, 1939, you can't use no case law prior to 1930. But his act is using it.
They still use that right there.
I know. They're using it today, but the Moors are not. The Moors is listening to the propaganda, don't know it's propaganda. A lot of things come out of the modern European mouth. A lot of times it's propaganda. And I'm going to tell you when it's not propaganda. When they take you into the corner and they whisper something in your ear because they recognize that you might just be a practicing Moor. And then they will tell you and they will say, look, this ain't for everybody. Now I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to tell you why they say that. And it's valid. It's valid. They say that because you got Moors out there who are not going to sit their ass down and study and know. They're going to run and muddy up the waters. They know, and that's why they say it ain't for everybody. This is only for diligent Moors who's going to listen, write it down, go back to their laboratory, pull out the Black's Law 4th edition, unabridged dictionary, and start researching what was just told so that it can become a part of them. This ain't for the Moor that's going to take this and then run down to the court or the police or roll up on the sidewalk in his conveyance and say, well, I can do anything I want because this is my ancestral estate. But there's Moors out there who do stupid crap like that because they don't study, their ego gets engaged, and it becomes a problem for everybody. All of our problems would have been over a long time ago if we would just be diligent, study, look at each of our situations, because nobody is going to tell you their situation. That's why you're private. All these people talking about, oh, you're public and private. No, you're private. Because if you was really public, I would know everything about you. And you know damn well I don't know everything about you because there's stuff you're doing in your home, behind the door, you don't want nobody to know about, and that is the way it's supposed to be. But you're still private. But you're still private because here's the thing. And I hear what you're saying because everybody got cable. We need to get rid of that damn cable. Everybody got cable. They got the box. They said, we're going to get rid of your ability to just get local channels, and you got to get the box. And everybody got the box. And if you got a 60-inch TV, I know you're behind, got some cable somewhere. So the two go together. Well, yeah, that's the Facebook people. But my point is this. If you didn't tell it, then the question to ask is, okay, so how did you get it?
Open your mouth.
No, because, see, I don't talk. See, how many people in here talk their business? How many people, like the sister said, they got listening devices and this, and she's right. She's right. But, right, but here's the thing. The whole listening, because they do that quite frequently. Everybody got a cell phone, they listening. But here's the thing. And then you got these ones, they so scared. Oh, I can't have a conversation with you unless I take, you and I, we both got to turn our phone off and take the battery out. Why? The satellite can record what you're saying. Why? And what are you saying that is so unlawful that you don't want somebody to hear? What is it? I ain't doing jack that's unlawful. So I don't care if God and his brother hear it. All right? I don't care. Exactly. But the privacy thing is a piece of cake because, like, they used to, back when you had a landline, they would call themselves getting a court order to tap your phone. Where'd they get it from? What court? Was it a state court? Was it a federal court? I can guarantee you it was a county corporation acting like government. Now, I could sue them for violating my right to privacy. But nobody thought of that. At least our people didn't. Our people did it. What they did was they went and they was, I didn't do that. What? I don't care if I did it or not. How'd you get it? How did you get the information?
Right. That should be the first thing.
Exactly. I don't care that you got it. How'd you get it?
They don't go there.
How did you get it? Because I want to know how you got it. Because, see, we got to think strategically. And after this, we got to end. Did you have a question?
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Let me just say this. This is what we got to be thinking from this perspective, strategy. You're never going to be able to think strategically if you ain't studied. You got to study. You got to remember. You got to know the spirit of the Constitution, because in order for you to get your strategy, your main objective is there's a snake. I don't care what the situation is. It's a snake. If I figure out how to chop off the head, I don't care what's going on at the tail. All right? Right? But see, people get all caught up with the rattling tail of the rattlesnake, right? And never think strategically, well, I don't care about your rattling tail. I'm going to chop your head off. And I'm good. And that's strategy, and that's the way we have got to think. We got to stop worrying about the tail, chop off the head. I don't care what your situation is. If they cheer you up because of something they heard, don't argue about what they heard. Ask how you hear it.
I'm not going to admit
You're right.
it anyway. A lot of people still don't know that these modern Europeans are calling immigrants, settlers, and aliens. They don't know that. Still don't know that.
Well, of course, and you're right, because this is all about. You're right, because this is about trading places. See, the modern Europeans, they are the original Negro-colored black, all right? But they got us to call ourselves Negro-colored black because of a complexion, and now they are running around calling themselves American. Then you go and you to your own people and you say, you know that you're Aboriginal Indigenous, and they'll say, well, you know, they don't look at you as the Native American. What do you mean? Native American and Aboriginal Indigenous go together. But you will never be looked at as Aboriginal Indigenous Native American as long as you run around saying, well, I'm African American, I'm black, I'm Negro, and I'm colored. Now they don't too rock with the color too much anymore, but they will. I hear the brothers on the street, yo, my nigga, oh my God, it just hurts me because he just called himself a dog. I'm like, what? When did you become I don't care. I know we got some brothers out there, when they get real pissy mad at dirty Moors, they'll call him a nigga. I am of this is where I come from. I don't care what you did. It could be the most heinous thing on planet Earth. I will never call you a nigga because you are not that. That's just me. No. No. Nigger comes from the troglodyte Negro chimpanzee. Yavera, what is it? Yavera. If you look up troglodyte. No, that's the. No, that's from. There's a group of Moors who are trying to use that Nag as some sort of title, and it's not. Nag is. Negro is not. Negro and nigger, the nigger comes from Negro. Negro comes from troglodyte Negro chimpanzee. But we don't have to continue this discussion. Wait a minute. What week are we on? Are we back here next week? Wait. Next week is the 4th. No, we will not be here on the 23rd. We will not be here physically on the 23rd. However, we will be doing a live blog on the 23rd. You can listen in on the 23rd. I believe we'll be back here on the 30th.
That's when Abdul will come, right?
Yes, but make sure and check the calendar front page on RVBey Publications for the calendar. We will not be here next Wednesday, the 23rd, physically, but we will be having a live blog broadcast. All right, let me repeat that because you didn't unmute your mic.
It's important. All classes will absolutely be the 2nd and 3rd Wednesday of the month, and sometimes the 4th when there's 5 weeks in the month. But the easiest thing to do is just check the website. It'll be on the front page, and it will be on weekly events, not calendar events. Also, just know that it is the 2nd and 3rd. That's why this month, the 30th, we should be here because it's the 5th week. However, just check. Now, lastly, please ask how many people are here for the first time and give out those. Thank you. All right, we need a pack over here to the sisters. Sisters first.
There is a packet of information for people who are here for the first time. Please raise your hand if you're here for the first time. Sisters, get it first. Who's here for the first time? All right. Anybody else? 2? Yeah. This brother was here for the first time. All right.
Over here.
Huh? Court? The best thing, well, I don't do the federal because I don't know what the federal means and I don't know where it is. But I'll go into a state court because all of these corporations are registered to do business through the state, and then I just continue to bump it up. But it depends on the issue and how you structure your risk, the strategy. All right, we don't have that yet. All right, so we're going to do our invocation out. Let's see, is that on?
I need anything?
No.
It's on radio?
Yeah. I'm going to stand next to you with my earpiece.
Islam. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Repeat after me. Allah, Father of the universe.
Allah, Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth. Peace. Freedom. And justice. Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide. And my salvation. By night. And by day. Through his holy prophet. Where I lead. Also known as Sheikh Sharif Abdullah.
Amen.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. All right.